Right now, at this exact second, the sun is still there. But what if it wasn't? What if, in the next 5 seconds, the most powerful object in our solar system simply ceased to exist? You might think you'd know immediately. You'd be wrong. And what happens next, second by second, hour by hour, is more terrifying, more strange, and more beautiful than anything you can imagine. Here's something most people never think about. Light. The fastest thing in the universe takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to travel from the sun to Earth. So if the sun vanished right now, you wouldn't see darkness for another 8 minutes. You'd still feel warm, still see blue sky, still cast a shadow, and you'd have absolutely no idea that the star keeping you alive had just stopped existing. This isn't science fiction, this is physics. The universe runs on a delay, and that delay is your first clue to how fragile everything around you really is.
8 minutes and 20 seconds after the sun disappears. Total darkness. Instantaneous. Not gradual. Not a sunset. Like someone flipped the off switch on the universe. The temperature at the surface is currently around 15 degrees Celsius globally on average. Within an hour, it drops to 0. Within a week, it's -17. Within a year, the surface temperature reaches -73 degrees Celsius, cold enough to freeze carbon dioxide itself. But here's the twist. This isn't just about cold, it's about gravity. Most people only think about the sun as a light and heat source, but the sun is also the gravitational anchor of our entire solar system. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid, all of it orbits the sun because of its gravity. If the sun vanished, that gravitational anchor disappears too. And Earth? Earth would immediately stop following its orbital path. Instead, it would travel in a straight line, tangential to its original orbit, shooting off into the darkness of interstellar space at 30 kilometers per second. Earth becomes a rogue planet, alone, drifting, in an infinite dark ocean between the stars. Back on the frozen surface. Day 1 without the sun. Panic. No power grids designed for this. Total darkness. Day 3. The oceans begin forming ice at the surface. Week 1. Surface temperatures hit -17 Celsius. Plants begin dying. Not immediately, but irreversibly. But here's where it gets interesting. Humans, a surprisingly adaptable species, could survive for years. Underground bunkers, nuclear power, geothermal energy, hydroponic farms. Some scientists estimate pockets of humanity could persist for hundreds of years if we went underground. And we wouldn't be alone in surviving. The most fascinating survivors wouldn't be humans at all. Deep in the oceans, at hydrothermal vents, cracks in the ocean floor where the Earth's internal heat seeps out, entire ecosystems already exist that have never needed the sun. Tube worms, blind shrimp, heat-resistant bacteria. These creatures survive entirely on chemical energy from the Earth's core. They don't need sunlight. They never did. The ocean itself would take thousands of years to fully freeze, protected by the sheer volume of water. At the bottom, kilometers below the ice, life would continue. Strange alien life in the darkness, exactly as it does right now. Meanwhile, the frozen Earth continues its journey, 30 kilometers per second, drifting through the galaxy. In about 43,000 years, Earth would make its closest approach to another star system, Proxima Centauri, the nearest star to our former sun. But closest approach is relative in space. We'd still pass roughly 1 light-year away, too far for its warmth to matter. Earth would continue drifting for millions of years, potentially billions. A frozen, silent, dark world, carrying the geological record of everything that ever lived here. Every dinosaur, every civilization, every moment of human history, preserved in frozen rock, drifting silently through the dark. But here's what I want you to hold on to. Right now, at this exact second, a star 150 million kilometers away is outputting 3.8 times 10 to the power of 26 watts of energy every single second. And a precise, tiny fraction of that energy is hitting Earth at exactly the right intensity to allow liquid water to power photosynthesis, to keep the atmosphere at the right temperature, to allow your brain to function and generate the electricity that lets you think these thoughts. The sun disappearing isn't just a disaster scenario, it's a reminder. Everything you have ever seen, touched, eaten, loved, or experienced exists because of one ordinary star that hasn't disappeared. Yet. If this video made you think differently about the star outside your window, that's exactly why this channel exists. Space isn't just something out there, it's everything in here. If you want to go deeper, I've linked a video on Ton 618, the largest black hole ever found, which shows you what happens when a star's fate goes in a very different direction. Subscribe if you want to keep exploring the universe together, and drop a comment. How long do you think humanity would actually survive without the sun?